Verse. My name's Kenneth Bird, and my company is Black Series Edition LLC, Crystal Edge Technology Screens, and our FLEBT company. I am getting a few things ready for some things and transitions we're going to be going through. Man. So, company, a lot of things are going to be changing for our business. Pretty good. Some good things are happening. We are truly blessed. So, this is what we call the big ounce. The big ounce is actually one of the biggest containers of screen paints that we have. Besides, later on, we start getting into 5-gallon containers and 10-gallon containers, but that's later on down the line. So right now, we have the big ounce for the customers. This paints up to around a 400-inch screen. These have been selling quite nicely. And this is basically the 192 ounces is approximately 1 gallon and 2 quarts, which I was able to, and mine, the screen size is a little bigger than 400 inches. We put it down at 400. It took me 96 ounces to paint a 250. And I did that 3 times for the big screen you see right there on display on a thumbnail. It took me 96 ounces to paint that. So we pretty much, it goes bigger than 400 inches. We just put it at 400. You'll figure it out when you get it. Exactly. Well, you're going to have so much paint left over. But it's fantastic because people are buying this because not only are you going to be able to paint one wall with this, you can paint multiple walls. You can paint screens inside and outside. It's fully weatherproof. Ultra short throw compatible, short throw, just about everything. And on top of that, for those of you that are into the projector mapping world, we're over there a couple days ago showing off the technology's projector mapping capabilities. This is another option you can use on that technology too. So pretty soon we'll be settling in to the new office, getting all that straightened out, getting that done. And then now I got a place to bring clients to, which is extremely important because, again, can't do it here. And it's best to have a more professional setting that we can bring clients into. My stage after that, my next level after that, once we get the office and everything is all set up for the meeting conference rooms, I do plan to get a showroom, rent a showroom, and another workspace for basically for just spraying screens and stuff like that, for stuff we got working on for the future. Yep. So a lot going on. All right. So yeah, the big ounce. So basically, for those who are asking questions, do you need any expensive projectors? No, we sure enough didn't use any expensive projectors in the entire demonstration of this technology. We didn't use any. I used a what do we use? We used an NEC projector. That was 60. It cost me $60. You can get those for under $200. We used a Sony. Why does it keep doing this? Stop doing this. It's weird. My phone's on very suck over there. A Sony. Oh, that's my notifications coming from Facebook. We just put some advertising in there. That's what's popping up. All right, so I used the Sony VPL CX100. I did unboxing on that. I got that for $10. That was it. Doesn't have anything special. It has no HDMI ports. It doesn't even have blue VGAs. There's all black VGAs. They're older VGAs are black. And it was using an HDMI to a VGA to HDMI adapter. That's it. And we got that image off that projector, that old projector. It's 720p to XGA. Old Faithful, it's a projector we chose to use outside. I thought the other one would have been a bit just sad when it's not sad, but it's funny when I say this. I thought 2700 lumens would be overkill for us. I didn't make this hard on the screen. I don't make it easy, Cam. So we came out there and did 1000 lumens, and we did a 600 by 800 720p SVGA. You know, the res count on that is so low. It's 600 by 800 SVGA. That's a low res count, but again, crystal clear on the screen because the screens are black. That's why. Screen paint's black, not screen. I mean, people are confused thinking we're selling physical screens. Not yet. We're working on that. Actually, I got some upgrades coming up for the physicals. They are coming back out. I just got things I want to actually do and things I'm working with. And I need a bigger place to do that at the end of the day. The 150s are quite large, and we don't even have the room to accommodate 150 inch spray. So I need an area where we have a nice open bay, plenty of ventilation for our workers to be able to coat those screens. Everything happens in due time. So I'm gonna go over to my Facebook page because we've been flooding. If you don't know what flooding is, that's basically our term for basically mass advertising everywhere. So let me see. So already on Facebook. And these are our video slides we've been dropping in. Why is my mouse all the way over here? Okay, here it is over there. Whew. Sorry, people. I was doing 6 hours of advertising. Let me see. So this is the new advertising we have on our Facebook page. And we same thing like the video slideshows that we have that we show over on YouTube. These ones have been doing motherboard screens. I gotta reset this page. I know we just put a whole bunch of updates in this thing. There we go. There's the big ounce right there. The big ounce. And where's the giant movie reel? There we go. Put a giant movie reel in there so people can see all the movies on the giant screen, because that's what the whole big ounce does. The big ounce allows you to paint. That's a 250 right there. So the big ounce allows you to paint these massive screen sizes of 400 inches. And at 235.1, well, I haven't painted a screen. The biggest screen I painted in a 235.1 was 178 inches at 235.1. So you're going to be much larger than that one screen size. So this is all the demonstrations and editing we did on, not editing, but videos we put on the site. And of course, demonstrations we have here. Why? We get this every time we go into form sites. They want to know the difference between our product and a gray screen. And again, I've had so many topics on this one, it's not even funny. They can't read contrast. Big problem. That's a huge, massive problem that they can't read contrast. You know how important it is for the screen to actually read a contrast level at 100%? Extremely important. I still don't understand the concept when I have these conversations with these people in the room. How they're seeing contrast. I'm like, how are we doing this? How are we picking up any contrast level? How is that working? I don't care what projector you have. You can't read it. Projector and screen had to work together in order for you to see that black level. Unfortunately with us, well, not unfortunately for us on the other hand, not unfortunately, good for us, that our screens are black because we don't have that issue. And other technology we have has that shifting technology. But you're not going to be able to read it. I don't know where people get this at, that they're actually seeing contrast. You can't read it. It's not coming up at all, period. The gunmetals have a better chance of showing you contrast levels at the end of the day. Oh, yeah. I like that one. The music we got for this one. Here we go. Picture slideshow. Can't get any more blunt than that. Y'all can't read. Y'all don't pick up at all. And I got more projectors than most people got for their testing. Most people who sell screen paints, we have literally more projectors than they do. We've been on more different locations. We have been... Let me reset to see what's going on with you while you're acting this way. We have been on more... I've done more testing than most people. And if I tell you from the door that the gray screen can't read it, it can't read it. Because if it could, guess what? I would see tons of demonstrations of gray screens in fully lit environments just like that. Operating, showing 100% contrast, showing color. Nope. All the gray screens we've seen, I'm not just talking about paints, I'm talking about actual physical gray screens and basically screen paints. They don't read. There is a challenge that hasn't been met yet. It was a Starfield demonstration to be able to anyone to be able to produce a gray screen in a fully lit environment. It hasn't been matched yet. They're still waiting on that. So yeah, it was in a forum site, and they were in there getting upset and angry, and they're like, well, you know, you don't know what you're talking about. Gray screens read contrast. Please show me how. Show me how this is possible. Don't stick it in a dark environment. Put it in a fully lit environment and show me how the gray screen reads the contrast level. And we get nothing back. Don't tell me to ask that question. So our technology reads a white light, which is fantastic because I got that from a customer asking us what's the difference between our product and black paint. You're going to have a lot of those demonstrations on the door. Ours read a higher white light. And on top of that, when we do these demonstrations against gray and white surfaces, we have to do white level tests all the time on the black technology. We can't turn this dark into black paint or black fabric because, again, it's not working. It's not going to work at all. Colors and everything will come out dark. That's why we did a color level demonstration that we've proven to show all that to our customers. But as for the gray screen, the theory we get in those rooms is they tell us that, well, it's lighter, it picks up better color. No, it does not. You are so far backwards, it's not even funny. If that's the case, then why would someone spend $5 grand for a black diamond that's a darker screen? Then they just might as well get a gray screen if that's the case. No, the darker screens produce better color. In fact, you're not supposed to be using 1080p and 4K projectors on gray screens. Go to any form site and they'll tell you, nope, it's got to be on a darker screen. Oh, I hate these freaking updates, man. They do the dumbest stuff now. Like before, you used to be able to just disconnect your phone and be done with it. Now they got these little things that come down to tell you that, oh, your I know it's disconnected. That's the reason why I have it disconnected. Why you got to tell me something's disconnected when I know it's disconnected? Oh, man, I tell you, boy. Technology just does too much. They just can't keep it simple. Because no one's watching. They can't keep it simple. Never can keep it simple. They got to put all this stuff into it. It's unnecessary. Literally flashing my phone on and off. They tell me that my charger's disconnected. I know the charger's disconnected. I disconnected the charger. Gee whiz Louise. It's not even connected. Where are you getting where it's connected? It's disconnected. Yeah. The joys of technology. Literally the joys of technology. Alright, I'll plug you in. I have no idea. Is there a basically disconnection? There isn't a disconnection to it. There isn't. Isn't like on PC. On PC, basically, if you unplug something, it tells you that you have to go in and disconnect it. But the cell phones are not like that. They just jerk from time to time. So you can see this right here. See? Colors won't pick up in any way whatsoever. We're on a forum site showing this off. The forum site for gray screen paint products. Because someone came into the channel that I was in, and they were asking me some questions about, is it true that gray screens don't read contrast and color? And I was like, yeah, it's true. They don't pick it up. Now, I guess some people will sit there and say, well, you know, that's not true because I can see color. Yeah, you can see color. I'm not saying you can't see no color. You can see color, but you're not picking up balance. You're not picking up color balance. Your color is washed out. Completely washed out. And the light in the environment definitely plagues the screen big time. So if that was the case, if that wasn't the case, you'd be to fire up in the environment. You see, our technology reads with no problem whatsoever. It picks up the skin tone. It picks up contrast levels where the gray screen won't register. And this is why we never see gray screens, white screens, and not in fully lit environments. We see gunmetal. We see them all the time in fully lit environments. All the time. We don't see gray screens or white screens out there. Y'all don't register. Y'all can't see the screen. That's why you have these little instructions with your products. You're not ambient light rejection, which I've gotten that literally on a side of a container from somebody who claimed to have a screen that they react. They keep showing windows and they keep showing open doors and making claims like their screen actually is ambient light rejection, but on the packaging it tells us it's not. That's like buying a knockoff projector that tells you in the description that it's 8K and you get it and it doesn't say anything on the box about being 8K. Literally same scenario. So either it is or it isn't, because you should be able to do exactly that right there with no problem whatsoever. You can't read that, then there's an issue, because that's the contrast level. Superman's uniform he has there is black. It's not the traditional one. This is the newer version of Superman. And on top of that, his hair is black. Batman, perfect example. What color is his armor? Sure enough, ain't gray. It's black. The background's in black. So if you can't read that on your screen in a fully lit environment, especially if you're operating an ultra short though, which is designed to be a TV set-top box, you got a problem on your hands. Your screen's not functioning correctly. I literally had this conversation with 63 people in a forum site. Showing me a Starfield demonstration in a fully lit environment. You want to argue, you have contrast levels, and show it to me. Don't turn the lights out. Don't. What are you turning the lights out for? Guy kept adjusting his lights. No. Cut that out. Turn them all the way up. And he disconnected off the video. Yeah, because you can't do that. You have to be in a dark environment to get a somewhat decent, I can't even call it a black level, a shade of gray to pop up. So if you're in there in a dark environment with a projector you didn't spend that much money for, you have just wasted your money. That projector is absolutely useless on that screen. It won't register. And I showed you, if you can't see contrast, guess what else you can't see? You can't pick up color either. It's not the other way around. If it were, and they're arguing about saying, well, it's the lighter the screen, the better the color. No, you're so backwards, it's not even funny. Not going to happen, buddy. If that was the case, the lighter the screen, wouldn't that make it a white screen? Wouldn't the white screen be the one to pick up lighter because it has a higher white color? So what goes on with that right there? And now they don't want to talk anymore. They don't want to have the conversation anymore. But see, that's the thing about it. This is where I got to basically twist and bend your mind up a little bit in here. Because if your screen paint is supposed to be here to advance over a white screen, remember, this is a gray screen would be better than a white screen, right? All right then. And if you're claiming that higher, brighter levels produce better colors, then wouldn't that make the white screen better than the gray screen? Then why would you be buying a gray screen if the white screen is already the upgrade? Ah, someone got their brain broken. There you go. Dun, 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 dun. You're talking to a person who's been in the field for a while. Don't try to give me logic. And I explain logic to you all day long. This is why I can go into forum sites with companies and I can break down what they're saying easily and get them confessed. Show me how many people have gotten these projectors confessed or 1080p base. We are the only ones who got that information out because I know exactly what to say to them because, again, I know my field at the end of the day. You don't come here and tell me some nonsense at the end of the day. I wouldn't know what your stuff is. It's a 1080p based machine. That's what it is. At best, it's 1080p. Let me put it that way. But anyway, the projectors that you have that are under that, they're like 480, 240p. They're in that range right there. Mostly about 480. Some are 480. And claiming to be 1080p projectors. Those are the smaller ones. But the big boy projectors, they're 1080p based machines. That's what they are. So we had this conversation in there, and they're in there basically now trying to figure out the logic I just gave them about if you're bragging and boasting about brighter screens produce higher white levels, then wouldn't that mean at the end of the day that the white screen would be a more superior screen? Because you can't beat the white screen's white levels. You're not going to do that. That's not impossible. If your strong points of your screen is higher white levels, then you fail against the white screen. And you can't say you pull better contrast because that would be us at the end of the day. That'll be black technology. We pull the best contrast. So you're not in that category. Gunmetal's not even in that category. So where does a gray screen lay at? It can't beat the gunmetal screens. They produce better contrast. They produce better colors. They have an extremely high gain attached to them. They have 0.8 and 0.9, 0.7. They have high gains on them. So you're not beating one of them at the end of the day. So where do you stand? What do you have? There's no point for a gray screen. It's useless. It's absolutely useless. I hate to put it that way. I know people are going to ruffle your feathers at the end of the day. It's a useless product. And the reason why, it has no use at all. Name something you can use a gray screen with that functions. Can't use them outside. They don't work on ultra short throw projectors. They don't work on venue projectors because the more light that adds to the screen, the faster it washes out. They're not ambient light rejection technology. They don't even have that capability at all, period. So what's the point of that? So what good are they? And you figure it out. I've been online. I looked up tons of gray screens. Every single one sits in a dark environment. And any gray screen we see on the projector, automatically we know it can't read contrast from the door. That's one strike it has. And if you can't read the contrast, what you can't read? You can't read color. And if you can't read color, guess what affects all that? Ambient light rejection technology works on darker screens. It doesn't work on lighter screens. So what is the screen good for? I sure enough wouldn't paint over one of those things. That thing costs more than a white screen. So if I go out and buy a white screen and a gray screen just to paint over it, which one do you think will be cheaper? It'll be the white screen. That's the cheapest screen to paint over. The gray screen is going to cost me an extra 50 bucks because it's gray. And they know they're going to charge me a little more money for it. They're going to charge me the same price for a gray, cheap, generic screen next to a white screen. I'm going to pay more for the gray screen. So I'm better just buying the white screen. So they're not even worth painting over because they cost too much money. Especially if I'm going to paint over it. So again, what's the point of the gray screen? The only thing that people buy the gray screen for because it's a budget screen because they can't afford the certifies. That's what gray screen's purpose are for. It's a budget screen. It will never have the perks and benefits of a certified gunmetal screen, which is the Diamond and DMP Supernova, those big companies. And if people can't afford that $5,000, $7,000 price mark, even the $3,000 price mark, guess where they go to? They go to a gray screen. That's where they go. They don't want to go back to a white screen. There's nothing there. That picks up a little better than the white screen, but again, you still are way under below average. And unless you got an extra $7,000, $3,000 to $5,000 laying around, you can go out and buy one of the gunmetal screens, which is far more superior than that gray screen. But then there's us, on the other hand. We take out the gunmetal, we take out the gray screen, and we definitely take out a white screen. And we can survive in environments that they can't even pick up in. Our color levels are way off the chart. We can use projectors that are far more cheaper than everybody else. It doesn't cost our customers a lot of money. And we can operate in just about any environment we choose. The very same light that plagues their screens, we can show images. We can show thunderstorms and whatever you want. Outer space, off a ceiling, off the same light that actually plagues your screen. We can actually put a projection screen up there and watch a movie off of. So our ambient light projection technology is through the roof. And instead of customers going out and spending the $3,000, $7,000, or whatever they're going to pay for a certified screen, they can buy from us and they can get a screen at 400 inches at under a $400 mark price. It's far more advanced than the Diamond technology and the daylight screens and any other screens we tested against. They can't read next to our screens because they're not 100% black. There you go. That's what sums it all up right there. Little conversation I had with them. And guess what comes up? Where do we buy? I've been there already. I know gray screens because I was making gray screen paints. So when they come back and ask me, oh, what do you know about gray screens? You develop black screens. Be careful how you say it. I could dig up my archives. I'll go in there and I'll show you digital and crystal screen paint. I'll show you that my product was so good that basically it was contracted. It was overseas on display. So that shows you how good my knowledge is in gray screen paint is. And everybody else, y'all didn't even hit that plateau. We hit that plateau way back at 10 years ago. Y'all right now at the stage you're at, you're still not on the level I was on 10 years ago. So if I tell you at the end of the day that stuff is obsolete, it's obsolete. We won't even touch it. Only thing it's good for is primer. That's it. It's a good primer for priming the screen. That's it. And and if not all, the great paints out there on the market, they do the exact same thing. They match your screens. That's why it's not worth to paint your screen with that, especially if you're doing an ultra short throw setup. Because again, you want it like a TV. That's why you bought it. That's what they convince you when you want the Best Buy or any place else you want to buy that screen at, buy that projector at. This thing's fantastic because it's just like a TV. Instead of having the projector in the back, it sits right up front, it sits right to your wall, gives you this giant image. It's just like a TV. I hear that so many times in so many ways. It's just like, no, it's not like a TV. Because you don't have the right screen to make it like a TV. That's the problem. So if I'm in a fully lit environment, I'm on an ultra short throw, how am I going to pick up on that screen right there? My ultra short throw is right on top of the screen, which means your lumen count at 3,000 lumens is closer to your screen, which means your screen washes out even faster. You know it's light, right? That's actual physical light hitting the screen too also. So if you have to be in the dark to operate that projector, you don't have a TV. TVs don't have that issue. TVs can operate in fully lit environments. So you don't have that. You have, I guess basically would say traditional projector. Being in the dark? Yeah, that's what you have. So this is called a splatter screen. A splatter screen is where we paint the screen gray and we just basically roll ours on in the middle. Nothing fancy, just splattered in there. So that way you can see how much of an impact on how much you actually lose from your projector when you're basically watching movies, watching sports. You are not seeing what you think you're seeing. This is what we're going to have on display in our showroom. This shows more of an impact than basically having the screen fully painted, because it shows the customer no matter what projector we use, your screen can't read it. And you think this is bad, wait till you go outside, because this is in a max out zone. This isn't that environment we had in that house. The meters just couldn't read in there because the light was so intense in there. There you go. And you get people that'll sit there and argue in a room and say, well, you know, projectors weren't meant to be used in the dark, and used with the lights on. What era are you at right now? Are you in the 1970s, 1920s? Where are you at right now? Because in this era, guess what? That's why we have something called ambient light rejection technology, because it gives the customer the ability to be able to use the screen in a fully lit environment, and the screen is designed to absorb light. Projectors are much more stronger than what they were back then. You got projectors now, you get for 3,000, 4,000 lumens. So they're much more advanced. And again, more and more demonstrations, especially with these ultra short throw projectors, are trying to advertise these machines as replacing TVs. So no, that whole thing of being stuck in the dark, that era is gone now. That is the era where you had a private showing room. That's what they called it, a showing room. You went in there, you had your 35 millimeter, your 1.1 screen, or you did your slideshows, you know, and that's what you did in that room. It was dark in that room. And you had your little theater room later on. Got a little CRT projector back there, a little setup in there, and it was meant to be dark in that environment. That's not the day now. Now projectors are not sitting in these little dedicated little rooms anymore. Now you see them right out there in someone's living room. You see it right out there in someone's gaming room. You see them now in freaking what do you call it? I think of the name of bars, all kinds of stuff. They're just all over the place. They're in everyday environments. No private little movie rooms. Even in your entertainment room you may have for your recreation center, they're right there. And if you look at how Optima advertised the P2, they didn't exactly advertise this projector as a movie projector. They advertised it as a TV set-top box, something to replace your TV, something in a fully lit environment. I love how they did their demonstration on that one. It should come up automatic. There it is, right there. We got it saved already in there. So this is how they advertised the P2, even though it's an AI setup. Does this look like a dedicated theater room to you? No. There you go. You see the point? You see what they're trying to get across? This is supposed to replace the TV. So the era of being stuck in a dark little movie room to watch your movies is ended. This is what they're trying to advertise. But the problem you have here, this is all AI, by the way, you can't do this. It's virtually impossible. Well, it's not virtually impossible. Without our technology, you can't do it. And if you think I'm joking, do your research. Or do some shopping. See how many screens on the market, which we tested just about everything we can get our hands on. See how many screens on the market right now will allow you to ultra short to do this. Anyone that has that P2 projector, try to beat that promo demonstration. I guarantee you won't be able to do it. I could beat that promo demonstration outside on an Optima GT 5500, which I did at 140 inches, way bigger than that screen right there. Because those projectors are designed to do 120 inches. That's the biggest the P2 can do. See, 120 inches, as big as they can do. Optima GT 55 can only do 100 inches. We had that projector at 140 outside. Inside, my screen was around 126 inches. And I was in more light than that screen was sitting in right now. We beat their own promo demonstration with an older projector, not even this one. So all the windows are open, plenty of light in the environment. See the angle gain, they move to the side, screen doesn't go dark, it picks up nice and bright. Now mine, like I said, this is AI. You can see, you can tell it's AI. Now people look at this and they see this and go, oh wow, I can do the same thing. I get this projector, and this is the sad part about it, this is going to be your wake-up call. You think if you buy that projector, it's going to be able to allow you to be able to operate in a fully lit environment just like you saw in the promo demonstration. Nope. Because you know why? Because when I did my field trip, I went on YouTube and did a live stream, and I looked for anyone that could match the promo, and we couldn't find one person. Every single person sat in a dark environment. Wonder why. I mean, the projector seems to have all this power. Yeah, the screen. Without the screen, that projector's useless. It is absolutely useless without the screen. Now, let me see here. That's the reason why we bought the Optima GT 5500, was to show that we could do it on a projector much less, and in a fully, which a much bigger screen size. When you have black technology, you don't have to do the traditional 120 inch. You can go much bigger than that. For people that were going out and buying those projectors, the WeMax projectors and Valve projectors, because they were promising you this whopping 150 inch screen, you couldn't complete that. It's not going to happen because you used pixel shifting technology. So that was not going to happen. And the reason why that was not going to happen, due to the fact, I just clicked on it, back to my channel, there we go. Due to the fact that you're compressing, that's why. So we're going to get the extra pixels to compress 150. You don't have it. Now 100 inch, 120 inch, 135, yeah, you got pixels to compress. If the screen maxes out at 150, that means where are you getting the rest of the pixels to compress? You don't have them, they're not there. That's the conversation we had over there with Valve about the 150 theory on their screen. They're like, that's impossible. Where are you getting the extra 150 to compress if you max out at 150? That means the image becomes distorted and unwatchable. That's why they're talking about some kind of update or firmware update, whatever. Bottom line is, you can't do 150 because the image gets distorted. So you have to do something under 150 to have enough pixels to compress. They didn't finish that conversation with us. So you can't do 150 inches. Now, a projector of, we got the NECs over here, the NECs, we could do those at 150 easily because the screen's black. And that means basically you're not going to, the image is not going to deteriorate because, you know, black is detail, it's contrast, it's more depth to the image, it makes the images more sharper. That's why screen doors don't exist when it comes to black screens, because the screen door is actually black. It's not white, it's black. So basically it's not going to show up on the screen, it's actually black. So that basically gets rid of that. A 600 by 800 720p projector, which is a really low res on a projector, is going to come up sharp. That's why we put them next to the PX747, which is a 4K projector. You couldn't really see a difference because both images were coming sharp because they were on black screens. If we did it on a gray or white screen, you would see a massive difference. That's why you can't use 600 by 800 res projectors on gray screens. On white screens, they don't function correctly, and screen door effect will pop up and you will see it. All right, NEC, short throw, 150 inches. Let's start with this one, 50 inches. So this is my 150 inch screen. We got a bunch of these. We bought a bunch of the NECs. I bought a lot of them because I like that projector. It's cheap. It's like $200.
Okay, how are we doing out there today? First things
Why
first,
wouldn't I?
To the side.
Now, you see this right here?
Image with no problem.
You should be able to do this on your projector. That's a Sony. That's what we got the Sony. So it's the Sony UM. No. Yeah, it's a Sony. It's a Sony on the floor right there. So that's the Sony. The Sony we got for $300. So cheaper than a $3,000 projector. And that thing did 150 inches. It's not designed to do a 150 inch screen. Also, to the ceiling's also displaying off another projector too right there. So you can't do this in your environment with a projector that costs $3,100.
This is also a kit we have on our website for around $649.
Are you kidding? You spent $3,100 for a projector and you can't do that? That's a 150 inch screen on that projector right there. Ceiling too. Ceiling's 180 inches. And the projector we have for the ceiling is an $80 BenQ. That's what I paid for my ceiling.
And then you get a gallon of...
Now, remember when I had the conversation a few minutes ago? I said we can literally watch the stars off a ceiling at a 150 inch screen. This is the same ceiling like that will wash out a gray and white screen, just like that. And yet we can watch the universe up there.
Black paint over top of you, which is fancy technology, which allows you to produce that beautiful star field directly on your ceiling.
This also too is going to replace the infinity ceilings. That whole star system they have up there, that's going to be going pretty soon. It's going to take some time, but it is going to go due to the fact that if you look at the fact that if you're going to pay $10,000 to $20,000, that's going to come in, rip out your ceiling, and see the same stars every single day. Even if they just move a little, it's still that ceiling changes out at will.
Even if you have the lights on, you don't have to worry about your screen washing out or fading.
I put my Star Wars up there if I want.
Projectors.
So that whole setup right there, $300, $380. That's all it cost me for my setup. That's when I sit there and tell people y'all are spending too much money for your projectors.
And as you see now,
Now look at it, turn the ceiling into liquid now. Can't do that on a $10,000, $20,000 ceiling you have installed. I was on their site too. I was actually on there looking at the infinity ceilings. I was showing them mine changing it. I was like, gee whiz, what the freak is that? I said, that is a coating that we apply to the ceiling, and that's an $80 projector sitting on the floor with a fire stick in it, and I can turn that ceiling to liquid. Why? I watched the Coral Reef on a $300 projector in a fully lit environment.
And you see the screens generate amazing white levels. Your image is not going to come out.
Can't do that on a gray screen. Gray screen can't do that. Neither can a white screen. Gunmetal's can't even do that.
Image right directly to the ceiling.
How are you going to get a gunmetal screen up there? Yeah.
And like I said, with
150-inch direct hit right here and all around here. So, you know, when we sit there and we post that, we basically are the experts in ambient light projection technology. Tell me where I'm wrong. That light right there in that ceiling would knock out any gray or white screen easily. It would take y'all stuff out so fast it's not even funny. What you guys would have to do, and to be in this environment, you can't use that overhead light because that stuff would destroy your screen. You definitely ain't putting anything into the ceiling because this is where the overhead light is. So you got to turn that off. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put some lights behind the back of here, some lights behind the back of here. You'll put some little lights here in the corner, maybe one here, maybe one over there and there. Can't have anything near the screen because it's going to wash out your screen. And even just the little lights alone would do it. So you have to basically change the entire environment, which means you'll have to take this screen, you'll have to stick it in some kind of like wall system. So when the light fires off here, it doesn't hit the screen. That's a kind of a decorative artwork all the way around, so we can tuck a little light in between each one of those, so when that light pushes out, it's just hitting the wall from side to side. See? I know all those gimmicks, all those tricks. And someone's got to do all that at the end of the day just to get the screen to fire up. And you're still going to be stuck in a dark environment. When we come in, and my customers can do this, they can basically paint that in, paint the ceiling in, be done. That's it. Have the lights on. I could read a book while I'm watching the ocean. That's the way it's supposed to be. Look at this from this angle. Now the big ounce, the Quasar, has all this technology embedded into it. It has something from each one of our screen paints that make up the Quasar. The Quasar can do this easily. Paint that right there, paint the ceiling. That's what they're doing. They're actually doing their ceilings and they're doing their screens because they want a screen up the top and one screen at the bottom to get a little visual effect.
True ceiling and light projection technology due to the fact that
you should be able to move anywhere in the environment and see this. So if I'm here, I should be seeing any direction I move. That screen should be able to pick up with no problem, including the ceiling. So when I watch demonstrations with screens, little screens, sitting next to windows, that's not impressive. This is what you have to prove to show that your screens actually can take in light. The ceiling light itself is what plagues the screen the most. Windows do a lot of damage. That's why we have screens sitting up in windows. Let's give ourselves another one, another ultra short throw. Right there. Let me see. Here we go. NEC, we did this one at, let me see the size we did for this one.
well, anything advised you do not pay
I think that's 120 inches.
Other than that, no problem. So you suggest use 9-inch matte paint rollers and also you can spray the application if you choose. Compatible.
That projector on the floor is 60 bucks. That's a 4,001 contrast level.
As I said before, this is not going to be a 4 surface.
Notice that the background of the screen with the woman sitting at, it stays jet black at all times. It even matches my chair. It matches my speakers. Matches the ceiling. It's all black. You should be able to pick that up on any angle you move in the environment. I should be able to sit in the next room and see that screen, no problem. I should be able to turn to the side and see that screen with no problem. So when I'm walking through an environment, no matter where angle I'm at, I need to see that screen at all different angles. If that screen turns dark, we have a problem at the end of the day. That means it's not going to work. I don't care if we can see it crystal clear. I need to see the angle on that screen from anywhere I walk into an environment. That's very important.
Sony 4K demonstrations, YouTube.
So that projector cost me 60 bucks. That's when I see people spending all this money for these projectors, and they're telling you you're going to get all these images. It's not going to happen. You won't see this. Your screen is not going to allow you to do it. On site, on a commercial site. This is not even in the home front. This is actually at somebody else's building, their office building. Guess how much my projector cost for that demonstration? $178. That's how your projector should be operating in your home right now. And we can do this in a place of business. You think it's going to allow us to go in there and turn the lights down to adjust for the projector? No. That's the hallway we're in right now. There's a school on the other side over there. They're not going to turn on any lights for that environment. That thing has to operate in that fully lit environment. Now, if that was a white or gray screen in there, guess what would happen? It ain't going to exist anymore. That's the problem they had. They had a white screen over there. The problem was every time they turned the projector on, they had to turn the lights out. They had to keep the environment dark because the screen wouldn't pull up. The gray screen's not going to do any better. Yep.
So you're on YouTube watching how to make pop.
Over 120-inch screen. This is another one upstairs. Same $60 projector at 150 inches.
For this room and a speaker system for the next room.
And this is when people were going out and they were spending the money for these Valor projectors to get 150 inches. Man, every last demonstration I saw, that projector was under 150 inches and it was in a dark environment. I can do that in a full lit environment at 60 bucks. Oops.
Calibrated a projector, you have problems with
Spending too much for your machines.
Calibrated with you at all, period. And people say you have to calibrate. Well, why do you have to calibrate? Because the colors don't come up correctly? I'm not having a problem.
I've never calibrated a projector ever. They try to use that on me by saying, oh, you calibrate because you do the adjust in the settings. The only thing we change in the settings is eco mode, lens shift, and keystone. That's it. We don't have to adjust anything. The projector I have on the floor, I paid 10 bucks for. I took that thing right out of the box and set it up and put it right against the screen. So if that was the case, then all the unboxings that we did on the oodles and oodles of projectors that I have on my account, none of the settings were ever changed. They were taken out of the box and hooked up, and that was it. On every single one of we actually did unboxings for. So when you have an ultra short throw setup, you should be able to look out your window and see objects, and then look at your screen. You should have all your lights on. You shouldn't have to change anything in your environment. Because if you have to go through that, that means not only your projector is working, your screen's not working. Oh, and by the way, the entire room is coated in screen paint. Yep, the whole thing. I can put a projector anywhere I want in that environment. It'll pick up. This is what quasars do. Quasars have that capability. All the technology that we engineered down through time, each one of these screens has special perks to them. That's in the quasar technology. That's why we call it. There's two different versions. Reason why we call it the mother of all screens, because we consider it to be better and more advanced than any other screen. Another reason why, because it has a bit of each one of these technologies sitting inside of it right now. It is the mother of all this technology. See, I can see my objects crystal clear. This is what I was explaining. See me putting my hand around. Everywhere I put my hand at, anywhere I point that camera, I should be able to see everything in that environment. You know what I'm talking about, who doesn't do that correctly. In his environment, they come up dark. There's shadows. How you got shadows and dark corners in your environment that you're claiming that light from your window is making contact with the environment? When you open up doors and windows, you're still giving off the illusion that your stuff works at ambient light projection technology, when quite frankly it doesn't, because you have it right there on your site saying it's not. And I got it on a container, even on a darker paint, claiming not to be ambient light projection, which I find that kind of weird because darker screens are ambient light projection, but that one isn't. So that's why if you see me pointing to all the corners, you should be able to see the corners. If I'm in an environment and I can't see your corners and your objects are coming up dark and they're casting shadows, your environment's too dark. When you see me take my hand and move around in that circle, I should be able to see everything in that environment. See the strips where the white LED lights are? You can see them crystal clear. And that's the conversation I had with this fellow who did videos on YouTube. I don't know if he still does it, but he had this one open window. Says, look, there's light coming through the window. There's no light coming through your window. You got these dark corners. I can see dark corners. You can't even see the background. Bro, what are we doing here? I literally had a conversation with this guy. I met him on one of the forum sites and sent him over some videos and stuff like that. I can't even see your corners. If I take an ink pen and I throw it out in the middle of the floor, I should be able to see it. How am I not seeing anything in there? Same projector we had back there.
Cases, none of that nonsense blocking the screen. I'm sorry, not blocking the window light coming through. And with my screen being 148 inches, well, 20 inches, if you don't want to spend $3,300 or $2,000 or whatever you got to pay for an ultra trickle at the end of the day, you want to make sure you get your money's worth. This is where our technology comes in. Now, if you notice how you can see all the objects in my environment. The reason why I'm pointing this out, because when I watch demonstrations of people trying to claim that their screens can produce in well-lit environments, the first thing I noticed that you can't see the objects that well because the environment is so dark that you can see shadows being cast in the corners.
Your environment's too dark. You see that all the time in demonstrations. Little dark pockets. So if they got dark pockets operating in their environment, that means guess where you're going to be at? You're going to be sitting in the dark with your ultra short throw projector claiming it to be a TV. Don't even say that. Don't say that. That's an insult to a TV. I literally, if you go into one of those OLED rooms in there, they'll shame you in that room. Like, what the heck you got it then? Oh, you got an ultra short throw? Don't you people sit in the dark all day long with them things? That's what they're going to say to you. You can't operate that like a TV. How are you calling that a TV? That's an insult to a TV at the end of the day. You can't even read 100% contrast. How are you going to compare yourself to an OLED? You can't read what that TV can do. How's your gray? You got a gray and white screen on an ultra short throw in a dark environment, and you can't even read a contrast level. OLEDs can turn on. Fully lit environment. Heck, my monitor can beat your screen. My cell phone has an OLED screen. It can literally beat your setup. I can turn that on, and bottom line, I can watch a movie. I can watch Star Wars in a fully lit environment. So that's why when I sit there and I have this conversation with people who have these ultra short throw setups, people pop in their forum site too. And in their forum site, they're talking about, well, you know, we're TV projection. No, you're not. Where are you getting that from? You're not a TV projection screen. So you can operate that projector in a fully lit environment just like a TV. Let me see it. And a whole bunch of excuses about ambient light controlled and blah, 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 blah. Then ask you all. Then ask you a simple, straightforward question. Turn on all your lights. Have it in a fully lit environment. Let's see some heavy contrast levels. Well, I want to see a bright level. I want to see some contrast. See what this screen can do. Nothing at all. Period. Screen washes out. It's better seen in the dark than what the heck did you just spend all that money for that ultra short though? That's not a TV. TVs don't have that problem. I don't even know anybody have a TV, turn it on and go, hey, look, we got to turn on the lights because the TV doesn't work with the lights on because the colors wash out. Never heard that before. So you spent all that money for a machine that they claimed it was a TV. Let me see it work like a TV. There you go. Got to have the right screen to do it. The projector does work. The problem is you have the wrong screen. Right. I can do this. should be to do this. I can do this at 60 bucks. You know why? Because that screen allows me to do it.
So you should be way past that. And still need 100-inch screens, again, dark environments, which you should not be in a dark environment when you're using an ultra short though. Again, the ultra short though is supposed to be the replacement for the TV.
Ha! I've said that dozens of times. Dozens of times. And when I went to Best Buy, the woman bought that Epson projector, and I heard the guy say, well, it's just like a TV. It operates just like a TV. It's just like having a TV. TV this, TV, TV. In the back of my, I'm thinking, meow, 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 meow. Because it ain't gonna happen. She's gonna turn that thing on, and she's gonna watch that screen wash clean out on her, and she's gonna find that if they darken the environment, the image shows up better, and she's in the dark now. When I'm sitting over here, that $60 machine. This is what you should be to do. See me
Sit over here.
Just sit down, look out the window on my $60 projector at 720p.
I'm sat in my easy chair all day. This is me. I'm gonna look out my window if I want.
Oh my goodness, I just
Got my
noticed
lights
something.
on. This is the
I
way
just
it should be.
noticed
This is
something
how you
crazy.
get this.
Hold on for a minute. What the freak? Really? Hold on. That's crazy. I'm wearing the same thing in the video I'm wearing right now. White socks and cargos right now. You think I'm lying? Look at this. Oh, it's funny. I literally have the same thing on. And I wore it in the video. I told you, I just have a certain dress code, man. That's what I like to wear. That's my thing. That's my thing at the end of the day. T-shirts, cargos. Of course I wear sneakers, but that's my thing. Yep. Even when I'm in the shop, I walk around. When I'm in the office, I'm gonna walk around the same way. That's what I do. Look at that. I can't believe I'm actually wearing the same thing in the video. That's funny.
Setup. The setup is very cheap. Anybody can afford it. And as I said before, with the projector sitting on the floor, you're not going to spend a lot of money. Now, for those of you, like I said, they're going to buy an ultra short though for the first time. A lot of people really don't want to spend $3,000 for a projector. They don't. You can do it for under, like I said, $200, easy, no problem whatsoever. And no calibrating. As you saw the demonstration, we painted this room. We didn't do any 4 or 5 code applications and none of that nonsense or no crazy instructions. We just using this kind of lighting. So the best.
Yeah. Shouldn't be doing all that. That's crazy. How in the heck you got ultra short those and you're sitting in the dark? I'm looking at these demonstrations. I'm like, what in the world? How are we in the dark? Your projector literally sits on top of your
You
screen.
can stare out my window. You see all the trees and everything out there going up there. And you can see my screen is showing up edge to edge. There's nothing faded, nothing washed out. So I'm going to show you how to get one of these projectors right here. The guy has more of them on the website.
You can get your screen to do that. Everything that's coming by, World War Z, all that's black, that's 100%. So when I say that, and I go to these forum sites and I watch people with these projectors, way better than what I'm using right now, they're stuck in dark environments. You got someone right now who basically is almost like the spokesperson for the P2. In a sad way, it doesn't work because due to the fact that he's in the dark 24/7. You can't use it in the fully lit environment. It doesn't come down to my it has something. You know, man, you can have it. Don't make a difference. You got PS5. You can have P. It don't make a difference. You can't read contrast. Gaming systems are designed to read a 100% contrast level. This is why gamers game on OLED TVs. This is why when they do VRs, the VRs have that OLED technology embedded into them. Because people want a 100% contrast level. Gaming projectors having insanely amount of heavy black contrast levels. And then you play it on a gray screen. What the freak is that about? That doesn't make any sense. It's so backwards, it's not even funny. So what was the purpose of getting all that power to begin with if you're basically going to shut it down on a white screen or a gray screen?
projectorcentral.com and go in there and punch in the projector's model number.
Condensed lighting,
come up,
it's supposed to make contact with the screen. If you have to alter and pull all this, no, it's not worth it, man. That do too much. Go downstairs in the basement, still pulls up.
This paint looks on a 720p projector 12 feet back in a fully lit environment. Keep in mind,
720p, 1080p. Can't tell one from the other. They're black screens, that's why. That's the only gripe I have with people with the ultra short those. It's sad because you're not supposed to be in the dark with that at all, period. Now if you're watching a movie and stuff like that, I can understand that. But come on, man, that projector, it's designed to be used in fully lit environments. You got a set-top box. That's what it's used for. It's a TV projector. Why are you sitting in a dark environment with that thing? Well, we know why. Because your colors don't work. That's why. You should be to do this. Look. That, easily. Very easily. Do you see how much light that screen absorbs right now? We got a chandelier sitting next to that thing. We got open bay windows next to it and a $60 projector right there. If you can't do this on your screen, this is bad. That means I can have guests come over, I can sit down, no one's sitting in the dark, you can see the corners at the end of the day, just like a TV. I saw we had people come in and they looked at that thing, they would go, wow, that's a projector? Because they couldn't believe it, because usually, projectors would have you trapped in dark environments and you can't have the lights on, the screen will wash out. They were just amazed at the chandelier sitting that close to the screen. It reads an infinity contrast level.
Which allows the screen to see blues and reds.
Or if I want, I could drop it back 18 feet and still pick up. You should never be in, and I say this to people who are buying ultra short throw projectors. You're buying them. That they tell you, if any form site tells you that you have to be in an ambient light controlled environment, you have an ultra short throw. You shouldn't be in an ambient light controlled environment at all, period. You should be using the same environment that you have your whole setup in for your living room the way it is. If you have to change that, there's something wrong. See, white levels pick up, all that good stuff, everything. Show contrast, beautiful colors, everything. Everything reads, no problem.
Not $3,000, it's a $59 used eBay projector. And not only that.
So if your projector is better than mine, and you're sitting in a dark environment, there's something wrong there. That's why the naysayers will come in saying, oh, he's using special camera equipment. Let me know what this camera equipment is, because I would love to see exactly how I was able to edit live, why I'm actually doing live. But anyway, that's why the Lord blessed us to be on site, because when we're on site, how would that be working? I'm curious, how would that work if we're on site? What kind of special camera equipment am I using to do that?
Right, you're probably doing it there first things first.
There's other people in that environment walking back and forth. They can see the screen like I can see. So what special camera equipment would I be using?
Like the ultra short projector for the kiddies to trap lunch right now. I'll show you exactly.
Because one of the skeptics I got when I was in there, that the paint was black. So they're all trying to figure out, how is this going to work? Because they're used to seeing white projection screens, or what screens they have, and they're white. So they can't wrap their mind around, how is a black screen going to produce color and contrast and white levels and all that. They're just baffled by it. Of course, that's what we expect. They're going to be baffled by it because they're not used to seeing that. So if that screen came up so dark and it was unwatchable, they would have basically made it known, because they didn't want me to paint the wall when I came in there. They didn't want me to paint the wall at all, period. I had a few people had to talk to the owner, and the owner finally gave in and said, okay, you can paint the wall. Now, if that wall was too dark from the door, they would have came over and made that announcement right from the door. Yeah. And then the other one, we had the screen when we pushed it through a glass. Owner was out there watching that one with us. So, no, that stuff functions. Fully lit environments, no special camera, nonsense, no. That's just people at the end of the day that try to make up things as they go along because they don't want to do the test themselves. Now, see, if most people, if you could back your products up, what they would do is they would basically try to do a better demonstration to show where our products are not working correctly, which you can't do because your products can't function in that environment because they're gray.
There's additional screen paints.
That's why. You can't walk. The thing about it, what hurts those people the most is the fact that they can't be in commercial environments. The screens are not going to pull. They're going to have all kinds of issues in there. And if you paint that wall and your stuff bleeds through it, there's going to be another problem too. Because you're watching us paint that surface in. They wanted to make sure that surface went in quick and went in fast with no problems. And we had to prove that. Because I told them, I said, look, it's not going to be a long process. It's fast and quick and easy. Easy to do. And that's what they wanted to see. No one wants to see no light roll, up, down, one roll, light roll, bring it down, press heavy, light, heavy. They don't want to hear that crap at the end of the day. No, paint that thing and be done with it. That's pretty much what they want to have done. They don't have time for all that nonsense. Because if it's complicated to them, it's going to be complicated to customers, and they don't want to be bothered with it. And you got to keep stirring it. Who's going to remember to stir paint? And every time they use it, they keep stirring it. No one's going to remember that. I didn't watch the guy on Wake. He didn't do it. He didn't do any of the things he did in the demonstration. The other guy's product, I think it's called PSP products. I didn't watch him do anything that I read in the instructions. He just poured it and painted it in. That's all he did, and it still came up gray. So nope. You're gonna have to do stuff like this. It's gonna have to come up. It's gonna have to work, and other people are gonna be watching you the entire time while you do it. I had people lay up against the screen to see if they could still. Matter of fact, the owner did it. The owner laid up against the wall to see if she could still pick it up. She said, "Wow, that's crazy. I can see it from here, like against the wall. It's like on TV." Yeah, just like on TV. Now, when you do these demonstrations, you're going to have tons of them. Tons of these demonstrations in fully lit environments. Not a bunch of demonstrations sitting in the dark. Because you just told me that if I buy ultra short throw and I buy your product, I'm going to be sitting in the dark, which I don't want. I don't want to turn my living room into the dark environment. I want to keep it with all the lights on.
Edge technology.
No problem whatsoever.
Powered by God.
God's
You have to spend
technology.
a certain amount of dollars, and it's also not true.
That's your product right there. There's
Because
two
again,
white surfaces. Don't run.
People need, they
Can't
really
start
need
to
to see,
work.
and seeing a bunch of smoke and mirrors.
Can't get nothing to
150
work.
inches, can't
Nothing
you,
would
with
read
their
it.
technology?
That's gray paint. That's what happened. If I had painted that wall, if I had bought his product and painted all this gray and used my ultra short throw projector, it wouldn't have read anything. I would have to darken the environment just to get it to work. And why would I want to darken that environment? I'm not darkening my living for somebody else's product. I'm not doing that. No. If that's the case, I'm going to buy TV. There's no point in me going through all that. It's crazy.
LLC. We're doing a demonstration.
Another ultra short throw projector. That's the one I used on site. So I came back, did the video demonstration on site, came back and did it again in the apartment.
Environment, because our ambient light projection, dedicated Cinemax or black Cinemax, is fully ambient light projection technology. Which means you don't have to be trapped in the dark.
So if I got to change that environment, turn it dark, no, we're not doing that. I'm going to buy TV. I'm not going through that. That's crazy. The reason why I set my living room up the way I did, because I want a lot of light pushing through. I don't want to change my environment to accommodate the screen. And that's what people don't want to do. So that whole protocol that they tell you that you have to do calibrating to get the colors right because they're washing out. You have to be in dark environments to get the colors to push. No, we're not doing all that. Too much work, no. That's why it's certified, not certified, the OLED TVs have such a ball kicking around the projector people, because they know that their screens can't fire up in fully lit environments, and they consider y'all screens to be a joke. Not us. Because we can go in there and show them different. You said what? You said, well, it doesn't have infinity contrast. You don't have ultra black contrast levels. Or the screen's black. It picks up a contrast level, just like your TV. Well, you can't use it. Oh, what? Fully lit environment? I can project off the ceiling if I want to. Also, too, I have demonstrations on screens outside at 250 inches, way bigger than your TV size. Your TV would consider to be like a picture-in-picture. Not even close to that, to the technology I just displayed. I can go anywhere I want with mine. I can project my projector anywhere I want. Let me see you put that the TV to the ceiling. Let me drop it to the floor. You can't do anything, can you? Take it outside. $60,000. You're not taking that outside. I can go outside. You can't. And when I watch a movie, I have options. I can go at 235.1, 239.1, ultra widescreen. You can't do that on that TV. If you do, you know how much money that TV would cost? I can go 4 feet by 7 feet and do a 100-inch screen, and a 100-inch OLED would cost you so much money, it's not even funny. I can drop at 150, you couldn't even touch me. I can drop at 200 inches. You can even think about it. If I want to do a projector with an 8K capability, it costs me 10 grand for an 8K projector, and I can do a screen size of 400 inches, and it still would cost me less than your TV. Oh, because you have apps, Fire Stick, computer, whatever. I can hook whatever I want up to my projector I want at the end of the day. Same thing, except for better technology than your OLED TV. And we can operate in fully lit environments, which means I can go to bars, restaurants, hospitals, schools, wherever I want. And with the new technology coming in that can absorb 100,000 lux of light, you are going to become, you're obsolete. Let me see your TV take in 100,000 lux of light. Man, that thing would basically, it'll damage the system. So you know what happens if sunlight hits a TV screen, it damages the screen. And the beautiful thing about it is, if little Frankie decides to throw a Matchbox car at my screen, I'm not sitting there turning around spending thousands of dollars to replace it because it got cracked or split down the side. We ain't got to worry about that, ever. I just take a little paint and go dap, 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 repair, done, that's it. Save me a ton of money. Where if little Timmy takes that Matchbox car and hits the side of your screen, it's going to be sitting out there on the side of the curb because that thing costs too much money to fix, and you got to go buy another one. Unless you pay for some extensive warranty, but then you run the risk of it getting cracked again. Man, that's no way in the world. I had so many customers that contacted me on that one about spending the money for a TV and finding out that the kid's cracked or damaged the screen. Especially when Johnny has a metal spoon in his hand and he's running around the house smacking things with it. It's only a matter of time before your screen's going to get hit. Or somebody at a party dancing and bumps your screen. Oh, there's all kinds of stuff that can go wrong. On top of that, they suffer from dead pixel problems. I've seen people where, mind you got a screen that's ultra thin. It's got a motherboard in it. This seems to have motherboards now. So your GPU can easily burn out. That's why some people, when they come in, they turn the TV on. They got sound, they got no picture. Because GPU burnt out. It's they don't have tubes anymore. You know, we all know that you don't have the old tubes anymore. I remember they had the old tubes, and mother called it TV repairman, and I popped open the back, and you would read basically schematics on the side of the on the back of the TV, and he would basically read what tubes it took, and they would order the tubes, and they put them in it. The thing would come back on. If they had them, most of the time the tubes were imported from overseas. But anyway, these are a little different. So your system could burn out. Which I find it interesting that I've been in one of these before, and it's like everything in there is so compressed. Then you have it sitting against the wall. How does that thing get any air ventilation going through there? Which I'm curious. That's the reason why maybe they burn out so much, because there's no air ventilation on them. You know, stick liquid cooling on those things. Dead pixels, all kinds of problems. So it's an expensive piece of equipment. Especially the thing about it is you really can't watch movies off that. And for somebody like I can't. No. You don't have real movie experience off that TV. What, 60 inches? 60 inches isn't big. 80 inches is not even a big TV. 100-inch TV is a big TV. That's a big TV, but it's very expensive. Now, if you want a movie theater experience, you want to be able to look at your screen and not see the rest of your house sitting there staring right back at you. Now, people get offended every time, but no, you're not watching a real movie theater experience on a TV. You're just not. Projector's much better. And the reason why the projector is much better, due to the fact projectors can do an actual 16:9 when a TV does a format. You can't do an actual, it's formatted for your TV. You can't watch it on an actual OLED. I'm sorry, TV people, if this upsets you, but it's true. Show me the option on your TV that you can actually switch over to a 235.1, or when you do a 16:9, you're actually getting a whole full 16:9. That you're not getting the bars. Because projection screens don't have the bars because the screens are set up for 16:9. And that's what they're set up for. Can't get 16:9 off a TV. You get a format. It's the movie's formatted for your screen. That's what it is. And if that's the case, show me that your screen can pull 235.1. I got a ViewSonic behind me. It does 235.1. Show me your TV can do that. You can't. And again, you're not really watching movies off a TV. I'm sorry. If you want real movie theater experience, you need a big screen to do that. Everybody knows that. So if you're watching at 100 inches, that's a TV that's 4 feet high and 7 feet wide. A TV is not that big. It can be that big, but they're very expensive. So if I'm watching a movie I don't want to see I don't want to see, in my field of view, I don't want to see the things behind back of my TV. I don't want to see shelves and windows. No. I want to see nothing but screen. Unless I turn my head, I can see whatever here and up there and there. But I just mostly want to see my screen. So in the field of view, when I'm watching a 100-inch, I'm seeing the TV, I'm seeing the screen only. And that's why people are buying more projectors than they're buying TVs. Number one, much cheaper. And then number two, on top of that, it's a real movie theater experience. But I can watch, yeah, you can watch movies off your, but it's not the same as watching on a projection screen. It's just not the same. You don't have that real movie experience. You need a big screen to do that. Full protection. Optimum GT. Alright, I'm gonna go back to my. Oh, I forgot to do this one here for sure.
First, my name is Kenneth Bird. My company is Crystal Edge Technology Screens.
So it's gunmetal technology. Yeah, it's gunmetal technology. Where's the gunmetal? Oh no, it's a Black Widow.
What's the point?
That's the wallpaper screen. As a matter of fact, I got somebody contacting me about a wallpaper screen. So we're going to do a custom job for them. We're going to do wallpapers as a custom job. That's why.
1000-to-1, 2001. Bring my Sony DPL FH30 up here. That projector has 100-to-1 contrast, but that thing was still built at the black level.
Yeah. Every room that I'm putting in, the gray screens can't operate in. If you have a gray screen, I'm just putting this way, you can't operate in any of these rooms I'm pulling out.
Okay, how we doing out there? First things first, my name is Kenneth Bird. I'm the creator of LUMINOUS 4K screen paint using ambient light projection technology. Again, rushing to get out of here because they have no contrast. Now you can check
Optima GT 5600 with a 20,000-to-1 contrast. Couldn't read on a gray screen. It wouldn't pick it up.
Got the projector over here. I have over here my NEC M352WS.
That's 10,000-to-1.
Specifications is 10,000-to-1 contrast.
Wouldn't read it.
So even if you have a 10,001 contrast, 3,500 lumens, even at 720p, you still can't pick it up. Let me come over here. Let's go over here to the Optima GT 5600, which is using a 20,000-to-1 contrast.
Can't read it.
20,000-to-1 contrast doesn't even pick up on the light gray.
So in the dark, we did a 10,000-to-1 short throw NEC. We did a Optima GT 5600 at 20,000-to-1, and it couldn't read the gray screen. Both of those projectors don't even work on gray screens at all, period. I did all those tests. I did every test you could possibly think of. If anyone ever thought that at the end of the day, oh, he's not being fair to gray screens, I ran every test you could possibly think of. I ran tests that you guys never even thought even to run. You got two projectors in your setup? No, you do not. Do you do these tests? No, you do not. At all, period. We did them. 10,000-to-1 contrast and 20,000-to-1 could not read in a dark environment next to a Supreme 8. Only Supreme 8 could read it. So that means if you got to spend more money, they're over 10,000 or 20,000-to-1 contrast, this projector is going to get kind of expensive for you. Because 20,000-to-1 contrast projectors is somewhere in the range of probably about $1,300, $1,400, $1,500. Once you start hitting higher than that, then you're talking about a couple $1,000s. So how much money are you going to have to spend at the end of the day to get your projection screen to work right? Because we're past the point of what I paid for my projectors in here. The most I paid on here is the Optima GT 56. I paid $1,300 for that. And then the other projector sitting on the floor cost me about 60, 70 bucks. They're both pulling the same amount of contrast.
Screen on ultra short throw at 3,000 lumens. M352WS, check out the specifications, is 10,000-to-1 contrast. So even if you have a 10,001 contrast, 3,500 lumens, even at 720p, you still can't pick it up. Let me come over here. Let's go over here to the Optima GT 5600, which is using a 20,000 to 1 contrast. 20,000 to 1 contrast.
Can't read it.
Doesn't even pick up on.
And on top of that, it's sitting right on top of the projectors. That means that the light from the projector is washing your screen out. It's unbelievable how twisted and how backwards that people have been brainwashed to believe at the end of the day that a lighter screen would have the ability to be able to read a color level, and let alone try to read contrast, and that the contrast capability in your projector is going to fix this solution, and it's not. It's not going to fix. It's not the problem. It's not the solution to the problem, and it's not going to fix it. You're actually adding more light to the screen. The light that's coming off your projector, that lumen count, is washing your screen out because your screen can't absorb it. Can't read it. I've mentioned this hundreds and thousands of times. And when I go out there on site, when I'm in different showrooms and stuff, I'm going to talk about the same thing here on my channel. I'm going to talk about out there to the masses so they can see the same thing that I've been talking about for years on YouTube over and over again, telling you these screens don't work. And mind you, we used to make this stuff a long time ago. When I saw that black diamond technology, that's what changed my mind. I was like, oop, we're in the wrong direction, and we got to go turn this thing around. And we still got people to this day that are still talking about how gray and white screens are basically superior screens. No, they're budget screens. They're bottom dollar screens. That's what they are. And you go out and you spend the money for these high-end projectors, thinking your projector is going to fix a problem. You're not even going to come close to it. You can't fix it. You're not going to get anything on what that projector is designed to do. That's the sad thing about it is you get nothing, hardly anything of what that projector is designed to do. You don't see the full potential of your projector. You think about it. I got projectors over here way older than y'all projectors. And my projectors look better than y'all's. My images look far better than y'all's. You see that thumbnail? That's a black screen pulling a white level. That's a 250 inch. My projector has to sit 27 feet from that thing to get it to pick up. That's a Christie LW 401. I think 401. Yeah, 401. That projector cost me $270. I can pick up an image far more advanced than you guys pick up on your projectors. It costs way more than my machine at the end of the day. And that's a 720p unit. That tells you right there. So I get the maximum and more out of my old projectors, and you guys are probably getting roughly, if you're even lucky, 50% out of your machine, if you're lucky. Just don't turn the lights on. Yeah, you don't pick up. That's the thing about it. That's what I've been telling y'all for years. Now my customers, look at them. They sit outside and watch movies and shows and whatever they want. On projectors are cost far less than what people are spending at the end of the day. But this is what the system told you. This is what they told you. The industry told you. You know, you're going to have to buy a projector with higher contrast to fix the contrast levels. You have to be in ambient light controlled in rooms, which is funny. With the screen is actually ambient light rejection. I don't even know how that even works. They tell you all this. And people follow the protocol. And this is the way it has to be because this is the way it's been told it has to be. Yeah, no. No. Doesn't have to be that way. You know, it's the sad thing about it is my customers live in the future. You people without our technology, you live in the past. And you're still in dark environments with machines that are designed to be way beyond that. Not supposed to be in those dark environments. It's supposed to be an option. You have the option to have the lights on. You have the options to have the lights up. It's an option. It's not that I have to be in there because my screen's going to wash it on me. It shouldn't be that way. And the sad thing about it is that people who preach this over and over again, as in saying that, well, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Well, it's funny, from a person who has more videos than you have at the end of the day and more experience, I think I would know what I'm talking about. Show me your credentials compared to mine. I was developing gray screen paints, gunmetal, silver, different color screen paints, hologram technology, invisible technology. Tell me, show me my credential versus yours. How much stuff has you developed in the 5-year span close to what we've developed? All right then, there you go. Even projector mapping application. Heck, I got a screen that's actual liquid. Even submersive technology. Anything, you type it up and it pops right up on there. What's this screen? This is a short throw on what? Oh, we did this thing off us. Wait, we did it off of what? Oh, it's not like this. Oh, Supreme 8. This is an 8. Somebody asked me to do a lights out demonstration.
I'm downstairs right now at the NEC DLP projector on the ceiling to floor screen using our Supreme 8.
Supreme 8 at the Supreme 8. Ultra short though, professional mount.
On this one for holiday. All right, so today I'm supposed to be upstairs relaxing.
I did this for a school.
Thought I'd get a video and really.
So they asked me if I can mount the projector up and see what it would look like. And because I usually have them on the floor, they wanted me to mount one up. So the mount one up is this what we did for a school. Because they have the whiteboards in there, and them things are horrible. I want to see if we can get the screen to fire up.
The screens are going to be to produce very, very high bright images. Now keep in mind, this technology is a very dark gray. It has very interesting color code to it. You'll see.
Supreme 7. Oh, Supreme 7s were dark gray. They look black, don't they? But no contrast technology for that one. Let me see what else we have here. Oh, another one. Ultima GT55 8. I'll tell you, 8s were beast. That 8 was a beast. Is 8 in the Quasar? Heck yes, in the Quasar. Got it in there. 8 was a beast.
Times 7 and 8.
So we got 5,500 lumens versus a gray screen paint. We're not going to say who, but yeah, we put them up against the product, see if they would read
Now, the reason we have 7 and 8 again was 7 again, due to the fact that the demonstration I did outside on the Supreme 8 titanium black silver did extremely well. Now, keep in mind, contrast levels were incredible. That looks. And like I said, we always do these in fully lit environments.
So half this is on the white,
now, tomorrow,
gray,
today, but I'll be doing
and black.
Tomorrow, I will be coating the wallpaper screen. We're going to turn that into a huge. I'll put some deep colors. Probably doing the fish tank. Let's see. Okay, let me make sure I got it set up right.
Sorry about that. White surface picks up nothing. Gray surface picks up a little better than the white surface, but next to our technology, yeah, we're far more advanced. Colors, everything pop better. Blues are deeper and richer.
Now, before I sign off here, let me go upstairs. But keep in mind, all my switches are upstairs. And look at the dark silver. See how faded the color looks on each side, right here and here? Look at it.
Impossible to make one of our black screens unwatchable. That dark, we are, no, it's not going to happen. Not ever. No, the heightener embedded in them. Which one was this one right here? And we did a lot of demonstrations on our customer. Should be to use your screen. Same way when we do our demonstrations, what I love about my customers, they'll put our stuff in the same scenario. I love that. None of my customers are sitting in these dark environments. And if you want, you can shoot it off the table if you want.
We have a projector over there, but that was removed for the one that I just put up.
After a while, when you start, you do so many test demonstrations, you just gotta find stuff to do.
Usually the platinum eclipse are very dark screens, so that wouldn't be something that would favor you. And keep in mind, both the screens I suggested do have very good contrast levels, but I'll have some people just paint half.
Yep, wallpaper over there. Turn that into a projection screen. Like I said before, there's no purpose for a gray screen. There's no purpose for it at all, period. There's no purpose. I don't know what you would use it for, honestly, tell you the truth.
Probably about 8 to maybe about 10 feet from a screen. I'm probably 8 to 9 feet from a screen. Our projector sits back here 12 feet. The one upstairs sits back 14 feet. Neither one of them are 4K.
Which one was this one?
And it's being done in a fluid environment, but they will push on images that are in the dark. They won't do any, they won't show side-by-side demonstrations with our technology with lights on because their screens don't do well with lights on. So the only way they can do that kind of shot, they have.
So a question I got here is that why every time I go on YouTube, about every video we bump into, and I'm not talking about just one individual, I'm talking about everybody sitting in these dark environments. I'm on forum sites just about every day on there. And it's the same thing, same video every day. Dark environment, dark environment, dark environment, dark environment. Little screen here, a little bit of lights here, lights here. And then when they show the screen with lights on the environment, the projector's not on. Then when they put the projector on, it turns on light. I'm like, oh my goodness, you've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. I've seen every trick in the boat. They take the condensed lighting and they point up at the ceiling. They point it in different directions to make it look like it's giving off light in the environment. No.
I sold my projector. I didn't need it anymore. When you have that much confidence in your screen
thing
that you sell your 4K projector,
anything MP 1150.
That just tells you right there how good the technology is.
You're literally supposed to be to do that. That OLED emblem that pops up, you should be to do that. But no problem. Y'all got the wrong color screens. That's the problem. Your screens are supposed to be that color. Gray screens don't function at all, period. Just no point. At all. There's just no point. And the Quasar technology has the ability of each one of these technologies, the best of that technology embedded in that technology. That's why it does everything. That's why it does floor projection technology. That's why it does ceiling. That's why it picked up so well on the projector mapping applications. That's where they read outside with incredible levels. You know, that incredible screen had amazing levels to read outside. 8s had them. 8s had insane capabilities to pick up outside. The Star Wars demonstration, that's an 8. Guess what's embedded in that thing over there? An 8 technology. Which means that when we took it outside at 1,000 lumens, that's why it read so rapidly and so quick, because that's 8 sitting inside of it. Yep. That's why it's the mother of all screens. It has a bit of each one of these technologies to make that thing what it's designed to do. The 180, the Star Wars screen, that was an 8. Yep. So I figured this time around, when we're making the base of the technology, that we were blessed to get do something different. To basically integrate the best of the screen paints we make into the base. And then add in the FLE technology, which is an element technology we make. We can't tell you about that at all, period. But anyway, that's what made that monster over there. And again, if you look at that screen, it's not gray. You know, at one point, I mean, they tried everything. They tried everything. They tried to say that the screens that we had were dark gray. And that's the reason why the white levels were picking up so high. Nope, wrong on that, because we make a gunmetal that's super dark gray, and they basically don't even match that screen, and that screen won't even match the gunmetals. And that's why you do the black versus black demonstrations, and why we have so many of them, because you have to do a pour out. You have to be to show that your product is the same color as that one. It can't come up gray. If it's gray, it's going to show that it's gray. If I lay black trousers and whatever I lay against that screen, black paint, it'll come up gray. If that screen was basically gray, it became up gray next to that surface. Now the other one would have a problem doing that because his screen came up gray. You're not supposed to do that.
This is the screen that I developed that allows you to hook up a 180-inch screen outside in your backyard, or you can use this for commercial use. As you can see, the screen is black using our black technology right here. Look how fantastic the screen looks. So I'm going to be doing a little gameplay on here real quick. I'm just going to set the camera up over here. So over here at my speaker setup, I have my Sony.
Now on this one, this projector is a Sony VPL FH30. This is a 4,000 lumen projector. And you're like, we're using a 4,000. Yeah, look at the time of the day. So at 4,000 lumens, that means this thing wouldn't have anything left of it by the time it reaches from A to B and hit a 180-inch screen to produce. Yeah, it's a little difficult when you're outside because your lumen count drops even faster. See, unlike inside demonstrations, which some people do, in your environments, you have your doors and windows and all that, and it's still a dark environment because it's not even well lit in that environment. Even when we're inside, we're in really fully lit environments because, you know, that's what we do. But anyway, yeah, there's nothing left when this projector hits. Now, mind you, the version of the Quasar, who has an 8 embedded into it, some of the 8 into it, can pick up at 1,000.
Projector, which is 4,300 lumens, and also two setup. I have my my Sony PS4.
So if a Quasar can read at 1,000 lumens, imagine what it does if a 2,000 or 3,000 lumen projector struck that screen. There you go. Because it has an FLE embedded into it. It has heightener, white levels, and all this stuff this screen didn't have in it. When we had it, we didn't have that technology. So imagine just the screen paints we have in it are all now upgraded.
Speaker. So check this out. So I'm gonna show you how amazing this is going to look in your home or in your business. I'm gonna do a little gameplay real quick to show you how amazing this looks on a 180-inch screen outside in the backyard.
Ah, my favorite game in the whole world. I remember one time that I would get these messages. I know where they came from. And it was like, I'm playing on my OLED TV, which was probably around, I'd say 42 inches. My OLED 42-inch TV. And I'm on my PS5. And I'm like, big deal. My screen's 180 inches. I'm outside. I'm on a PS4. I really don't care less about the game system at the end of the day. Honestly, truthfully, I can build me a PC more powerful than your console system. I build PCs and program them. So, nah, you're talking to... You're bragging about a console system to someone who builds PCs. That's not really impressing me, okay? I can modify your system. So, yeah. But at the end of the day, if you're talking about from different app on display systems, mine's 180 and I can go outside. Where you at? Inside? You can't take that thing outside. So that was the end of that conversation. Brag about a console system, somebody builds PCs. Yeah, okay. Don't get me wrong, I like consoles. I'm a console boy at the end of the day. I do. I love consoles. But don't brag about it. Come on now. I can upgrade my machine at will. You can't do that with those things at the end of the day. I can only do so much. I wish I could. Oh, I wish I could. Next time around, make it so you can basically change out the memory. Because, man. And the graphic card. But then again, you would have a PC. Literally, you would have one. Which wouldn't have been a bad idea if they made it so you can have a plug-in graphic card. Like you can upgrade your graphic card. That would have been kind of sick. I would have liked to have that one. That got me right there. It didn't upset me. It's just funny that my screen's going to be more superior than an OLED due to the fact that, again, not going to cost a lot of money. Heck, I can throw things that I won't even shatter that screen at the end of the day. My screen's far larger than an OLED. That's Infinity 1 contrast. I'm outside and I'm producing a 100% Infinity Black level right now. My whole setup didn't cost me far less than a TV. And I got a screen inside. Actually, in every part of that house, I got a screen sitting in there right now that I can go watch right now in that time of the day. Yeah, I don't think so. But he got me on, I'm playing on a PS5 system. You're playing on a PS4. Dude, I build freaking PCs at the end of the day. You gotta be kidding me. I'm PC Master Race. Come on now. Go in a different direction. Go over there, please. Thank you. As a matter of fact, one of the things I have to do when I get the PS5, I literally got to take the whole entire thing apart because I can't use it. I literally can't use it. I'm telling you, I'm sorry, I can't use it. It's the case. I hate the case so much. I hate it. On top of that, poor ventilation in the system, and it's a dust factory, you know what I mean? On top of that, you're going to have to void the warranty anyway just to get to the power supply to clean that mess out, because that's going to be a headache at the end of the day. And yeah, the gigs they gave on it, the hard drive capability, no, that's got to go. I got to max out at 8 because that's not going to work. I'm going to eat through that thing in no time at all. I know myself. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff that's going to be changed. I got to put liquid cooling system definitely has to be installed onto it, and the power supply has to have an extender, which means I need an extender ribbing so I can drop it in a separate compartment. And then it's shaped like a boot on top of that. So now I have to get my friend who's going to design a regular case that will fit in my PC slot for the power supply, but it also too have adapter that it will actually fit that boot in it and mask it to a square so it looks professional when I stick it inside of my case. So yeah, on top of that, I'm gonna have fans in to keep it nice and cool and all that stuff like that. So it's a whole lot of stuff I got to do to it because I can't buy that thing and stick it up there. I'm sorry for people out of the system. You like the case and all. That's you at the end of the day. This is my personal experience. I think at the end of the day that when I sit there and I talk about how I don't like the PS5's case, people get mad about it. They go, well, that's your opinion at the end of the day. You like it, that's you, okay? That's you. I'm not saying everybody likes the case. You're corny, then that's a different story. That's judging everybody. No, if you like it, that's you. Me, on the other hand, I don't like it. I can't stand the case. I think it's ugly. I don't like it. And I think for another reason why is when you have a system like that and you have it compressed, guess what's going to happen to your system? It's going to burn out on you. That's what's going to happen because there's no proper heat flow going through that system at all, period. That fan on top of it, that ain't going to do jack. On top of that, you got these things sitting on the floors, you got them in cabinets, you got a high risk of this thing burning out. And even worse, the dust this thing is going to accumulate inside. I showed you where a guy had to open it up and clean out the power supply because power supplies can get flooded with dust all the time. So in order for you to get to the power supply, guess what you have to do? You have to void your own warranty to fix something. That should have never had that issue to begin with. Should have been in a much bigger open case. Put it in a cube or something. Give it more airflow. And it could at least drop liquid cooling. Liquid cooling is not expensive. I could have put that on there. So no, I don't like the fact that the CPU and GPU are on the same chip. That I don't like. I'd rather have that separate because if one goes, the other one goes. It's kind of like the TV and VCR scenario. You know, if one goes, the other one goes. You know what I mean? You can't use one without the other. So to have them both on the same chip, that's not a good idea. And you got that fan sitting on top of them, that compressed casing. Remember they got a 4080. They got a 4080 in there. What do they got for 4080 or 30? No, they got a 30, a 3060 and a 3070 in there. RTX. Or do they have that in there? Did they change that to something else? I don't know. But anyway, I can't do much about that. But definitely going to have to put a liquid cooling system on the CPU and GPU combo system. That definitely has to be done. And I'm definitely going to have to cool that thing down. I'm going to have to put fan controllers on it so I can speed up the RPMs on the radiator system because usually the fans that come with that are like, you got to take those off and put on something a little bit more higher. Something a little higher than 40 RPMs on that, and you have to speed it up with the fan speed control, which actually basically boosts that a little bit better. Then I need a touchscreen fan because I got to control all the fans in the box to begin with. And then I got to run a separate form of power through it, to a Molex power supply, because that system doesn't have any pins or any adapters or anything running off the power supply that allow me to run the Molexes at all, period. So I have to have a separate unit for that. Yeah, it's going. I mean, I love that kind of stuff. It's fun. But at the end of the day, like I said, I got to do all that modification to make it a decent machine for me. That's what I have to go through. Unlike PC, bam! I'm building one anyway. That's the same thing. What I got to do to this console system, it's the same thing I'm going to do with a PC. So if I get to pick out all the parts I want to put in there, I can choose my RAM, I can choose my hard drive, and go. You can choose your hard drive too, but y'all can't max out to like 15 terabytes of hard drive space. I can only do that on my system. You know what I mean? I can pick out what graphic card I want to put inside and choose my own motherboard. And, there you go, see? It's like the Build-A-Bear for PCs. Just pick what you want. Put my lights in it, choose my case. I want to put fans in it, but don't want to put fans in it. But anything I want in it, I want. There you go, see? But see, if they do that to the PC, if they do that to the console, then you're PC. You're literally PC. They try to keep it separate. They do try to put you guys in different cases. They want you to have computer parts like a PC, but they want to still stick you in a console case, which is extremely dangerous because you can't put computer parts inside of a console case because your system's going to overheat and burn out. Your cooling system is extremely bad for that system. It is really bad. I mean, at least put you in a nice little cube or something with a little bit of airflow or something in there. I mean, jeez. But they still want to consider it to be console, but technically you're PC. You're like a watered down version of a PC. That's what you are. You have a graphic card higher than a 1660, yes, but you are still a not technically PC. You're getting there. You're about to go full circle pretty soon. They keep it up with these machines. Console's going to turn into a PC. And then you're going to be PC, and then welcome to the club. Hey! That's what you're turning into. See, it's interesting how I find this way back from day one that console fought it for the longest time and said, no, we'll never be PC. We'll never be part of the PC master race. Never, never, never. But if you want to keep up with high-grade graphics, you're going to have to upgrade. And the more and more you upgrade, the more and more you come closer to a PC at the end of the day. I like console, I like both of them. But still, I prefer PC. So that's what's going to happen. And sooner or later, it's going to turn into us. And then what? What are you going to say then? Because keep in mind, at one point, PC games were made for PC games only. Consoles were made for console games only. Everything's all cross-platform now. You can get games on this system and games on that system, that and this system. And the only thing that pretty much kept the PC, the console, really in its own backyard is it had exclusive titles. But you don't get a lot of exclusive titles, and a lot of exclusive titles are shared among everybody now. So pretty much, you got some, but, sooner or later, they're ported over to PC either way. So, you look at it this way, at the end of the day, you're already there. You have digital download. The whole thing about having game collections, it's going to be gone. It's pretty much going out the window. So you're going to be downloading. So you're doing the same thing PC does. PC downloads everything. And then once you get to that point and you're just strictly all downloading, you can't take a discount and share it to a friend. Like, here, buddy, you can borrow this. You can't do that anymore. You're going to have to basically gift it to them, which we do on Steam. I could gift the game to somebody. I pay for it, and actually I pay more money, but I'm not saying I pay more money. If I pay, it's okay, I did that already. If I pay $60 for a game, and I want to gift that game, and gift a game to somebody else so they can have it, that cost me $60 too. So I paid for 2 games. Where in console, where you had CDs and you had CDs and stuff, you can go, okay, you can let somebody borrow the game, or how much you still would have to buy 2 games in the day, wouldn't you? Yeah, you would have to. But you can let somebody borrow the game. But on PC, you can't let anybody borrow the game. You have to gift the game. Oh, that's where it comes into. You can't just lend the games out. So either way, at the bottom at the end of the day, you're still going to turn into PC. That's what's going to happen. Your case is going to change. They put higher graphic cards into those PCs. Yeah, and they keep building them, into the console systems and make them more and more powerful. Sooner or later, you're going to turn directly into a PC. You're just almost halfway there. Just have a watered down version of it. Don't get me wrong, the PS5 is a pretty good machine. I read the specifications and all. It is. It's a really good machine. It is. It's impressive. But the thing about it is, I know at the end of the day from a person who builds computers that it's not going to hold. It's going to have all kinds of issues, and I got to modify this machine. And I don't like the fact that they gave it like something like under a terabyte of hard drive space. What I'm going to do with that? I'm not going and swap. I'm not deleting this. I'm not doing it. I'm just going to have to max it out. So, I'm curious. I had to know about this real quick. Exclusive titles. Is there any exclusive titles for this thing? PS5 exclusive titles. What do we got going on here? Another reason why another PS5 isn't doing so well, and I'll tell you why. The PS4 is still existing, that's why. They're still making games with the PS4. You can find games when you go on the PS4, it'll say PS5 or PS4, whatever. Yeah, there's some making. That system should have been long gone a long time ago. It should have been long gone a long time ago. And the reason why it's still existing because there are more PS4 owners than there are PS5 owners. So what do we have for the exclusive titles for this thing? Oh, these can't be remakes. Yeah, that can't be possible. That's on the PS4. I got that on VS, a VR setup for the PS4. Yeah, it's using the DualShock 4, so we know that can't be it right there. I know that. I had that game. It's VR. It's kind of a VR controller kind of thing. I'm not impressed. I really was in that way. Nope. Street Fighter. There's so many versions of that on PC. It's not even funny. No, this can't be right. That definitely can't be right. That's all PS4. Yeah. I didn't ask for that. I need PS5. Where's the PS5 exclusive lineup? That's PS4. Let me see. But I know that couldn't be it. There's no way in the world. How many titles are for the PS system? Alright, so how many exclusives for the PS5? Spider-Man? Really? Ooh. Isn't that a remake? I hate the remakes. Why do that? I mean, I don't care. I beat the game already. The thrill's gone. I don't see the purpose in that. Yeah, meow. Who are you arguing with? Get out of there. Mm-hmm. Really, this is it. That ain't a good sign. That's not a good sign. Usually, console system would launch, it would have at least 10 exclusives right from the door. It would have a massive library. And then you got to consider how much of the library is actually playable. See, the problem you have is the exclusive titles is actually what keeps people from coming back to the system. That's what happened coming back to the Xbox Halo. I was a big Halo fanboy. Always came back because of the Halo system. I bought an Xbox over PlayStation any day because of Halo. And then after that, I beat the crap out of Halo, and I'm pretty much done with that. And the rest of them just didn't appeal to me anymore. I got a PS system, and then I was no Halo. It was Halo, Gears of War, Unreal Tournament. What was the other one I was into on there? The Unreal Tournament. Yeah, Unreal Tournament 3 was only on the for a while. It was only on the Xbox 360, and then it was Halo. When I got Halo on the Xbox One when they first came out, the first big bulky system. That's when I got Halo. Fell in love with it. Was a Halo fanboy ever since then. But after that, I switched over because there was the Halo games that they had on the Xbox, the new one. I didn't like them, and I switched over and got a PS system, and didn't play not a lot of the exclusive games. I didn't get into them. I was really more into just their games. That's basically about it. It was a new system. I have never had one before, so. I figured, it was nice, and I bought the VR system with it, so I wish I played the VR more than I played the games on it. World War Z, I'd have had that on any platform, but I got World War Z on PC. It's different on PC. And then people say, well, they go at PC because PC has more advanced graphics. But the console system, yeah, it has good graphics. A RTX 30 60 and 70 is good, but consider the fact if you're talking about a 5090, that's a whole nother world of a graphic card at the end of the day. You can't match that. That's a big boy at the end of the day. You're not matching that at the period. That is 4K. You can right now. I doubt you're producing any kind of 4K content. I bet you it's compressed. What I've seen so far, because my sister's boyfriend has one, and I've seen it. I'm like, it's okay. I like it and all. But if you're talking about a 5090 graphic card, are you kidding me? To a 3070 or 3060 or 3070? That's a big difference, man. That's a massive difference. i9 processor, yeah. And you guys are under a terabyte on your system. You can upgrade to 8. 8 would be a backup on a PC. Now we can go 20, 30, easy. I can go 100 terabytes on a PC. And then you get down to maintenance costs. PC maintenance cost does cost money. It does. But on top of that, to keep building y'all consoles like this, your maintenance costs are going to cost money too. And then the whole thing with console was you didn't require constant updates. You do have a lot of updates. Consoles have a ton of updates now. Matter of fact, majority of that terabyte that you have went into updates on your system. That's where your hard drive, that hard drive went to. You know what they should have did was it should have gave you, I told you from the door, the console systems today should have got 4 terabytes from the door. You guys got ripped off. You should have gotten, well, how do you have a terabyte? The PS4 has a terabyte on it. That's so backwards. So I said something is wrong there. You guys got ripped off. How do you have a next gen system that has the same hard drive space as an old gen? So y'all can y'all starting point, even though you say, yeah, you can upgrade to 8. All right, that's good enough. But buying the system right out of the box, you have less than a terabyte sitting on it. That's what you have less. So technically, you kind of went backwards because you should have had 4. 4 terabytes is what you should have had on it from the door. Instead, you guys spent $350 just to get the hard drive to fit into the external hard drive in order to run your system at max. And then you can plug in another 4, which I guess would be external, whatever you call it, which would be basically for another additional 4, which will max it out to 8. But the part that gets me is right from the door. Are you kidding me? You're just gonna give me under a terabyte? Like, what the freak am I gonna do with that? Memory them games take. Some games take a ton of memory. Mind you, freaking what was the game? People are going off about that one. Titan, about the giant mechs. It took 40 terabytes. 40 gigs. Sorry, 40 gigs. So 40 gigs. You have any idea how much GTA is going to take, or Call of Duty? How much they eat up? And they started you guys off with under a terabyte? Are you kidding me? They should at least gave you 4, at least. Because at least you can use 1 on system and 3 just to play around with. No, they did you wrong. The PS4 behind me got a terabyte of hard drive space on it. I can only download 27 games on it. That's it. And I have to delete, put it back on. And, you know, my PCs have more RAM than that thing has. It has more hard drive space than that has at the end of the day. I gotta upgrade. It's gonna cost me money to upgrade this machine. It's not gonna be cheap. I gotta upgrade it. The liquid cooling is gonna cost me probably roughly $200. The liquid cooling system, because I gotta modify it. I gotta take all the fans off, because the factory fans I never use them anyway. And I gotta get a fan controller, because like I said, I gotta speed up the RPMs on it. So that's gonna cost me $40 alone right there. I gotta spend $350 for the additional hard drive from the 4 terabytes to upgrade that half, whatever gig of a hard drive that's sitting in that machine. And then I gotta take that out. Then I gotta buy me another external hard drive. It's an external hard drive because I'm gonna max up to 8. That's gonna cost me another $350. That's about $700 right there just to upgrade the hard drive alone. Ugh. Freaking crazy. I just literally I'm gonna spend more money to upgrade the hard drive than the system is actually worth. Yep. Yes, sir. And then I gotta take it and I gotta get a new case for it. That case gotta go. Then the modifications of cutting the case and putting in screws and all that stuff so we can get the motherboard to fit in there. And then I gotta get these what do you call it? Heat sinks for the back of it. Because I think there's like 5 of them back there. I think that's the RAM back there that I have to basically cover those over. Ooh, man. It ain't the work. I've done harder work than that. It's not the work. It's the fact that I gotta buy this stuff because due to the fact that it's a console. Now some people are happy with it. They hook it up, they're fine with it. That's how my sister's husband is. They're not really tech junkies at the end of the day. They're good with it. But a person who's a tech junkie who build computers, you're going to rip it apart. We're not going to be satisfied with that thing. Look at it go, this is going to have to come apart. I'm going to have to take it apart. Yeah, you got to come apart. You can't, we're not going to, it's rare that you have somebody who works in computers has a console system that's basically still a console system. They're going to take it apart. And they're going to basically figure out, like, what can I do to update this, upgrade this thing? Shoot, my boy Troy basically rewrote the firmware. He's the one I told you, the old Brainiac. I got two Brainiacs like that. They rewrote the freaking firmware for that system. Upgraded it. It wasn't to their liking. Why not? If you got the ability to do it, why not? Why not do it? Why not? Why not do it? Why not? Why not? Why not? Why not? My world. When I build PCs, I'm into submersive tanks. I like submersive tanks. So that is a PC, and it's a submersible PC and vegetable oil running perfectly fine. Yep. So at the top we have our liquid cooling system, which is, at the end of the day, if you don't know about vegetable oil submersive or mineral oil submersive tanks, you do run a risk of basically cooking your PC, because basically people take all the fans off. When you take the fans off your CPU, it's going to generate a ton of heat. This is going to cook your system, so you have to put it in a separate cooling system to keep that cool. So if you notice this little unit right here, these cords coming in, they're attached to the CPU. So this is actually running a liquid cooling system while it's submerged. Now, does this basically damage it? No, it won't damage it in any way whatsoever. But it keeps the CPU nice and icy so it doesn't cook my system, because that oil will heat up and burn and it'll fry the circuits. Which I found out when I did a Pentium 4 Hyperthread. I found out the hard way, if you don't put a liquid cooling system in there, you're going to cook your stuff. Yep. This is the i7s when they first came out. Does it run? Yes, it does. Under vegetable oil. The first time I did this, I was scared to death, and I was going to get electrocuted. But no, you can stick your hands in there. Power supply. You can't stick your hard drive in there because you'll mess it up. But everything else can just go drop right on in there. Yep. Yes, sirree. Yes, sirree. And on the far end over here, we got Server Boy. As you know, when you're online, you got to have that proximity server to block all your freaking information right over there. That's my server right there. So I built the server too. So when I build these systems, I build my own server because I like to host games and all that stuff. And I can't stand when you got it. I like my own dedicated server when I go in and play. I can't stand the server that they have basically with the console system sometimes. They be laggy as I don't know what. So yeah, I go get myself. At the time I had a T1. I had a T1 system put in, and I got that through Earthlink. Yeah, but this is what I build. I don't build normal PCs. Man, anything I do is not normal. And guess what? Never went to school for any of this. Guess where I learned this from? God. Yeah, taught me how to design all this stuff. Never went to school a day in my life for computers. Didn't even know I had the capability. Oh, so I'll tell you an interesting story about it all. So basically, no, didn't know anything about computers at all. Period. But I wanted a computer really bad, and I couldn't afford one. So, I remember reading Leviticus in the Bible about how God taught the children of Israel how to build the tabernacle. And if you read about the tabernacle, it was exquisite. It was gorgeous. So I'm thinking to myself that these are people who have no skills whatsoever into building this tabernacle, and God blessed them with that knowledge to do so. And with knowing that, God could bless me with the knowledge to be able to build computers. Now, at that split of thought, when you're meditating, you're reading the Bible, and you're in deep thought, I had a clear conscience, which means basically it felt like I had a link between me and God. And I remember I would read these Tiger Direct catalogs, just trying to figure out how to do it, because I couldn't figure out even where to start, how to read the motherboard. Nothing. Just everything was. I couldn't read. I couldn't understand it at all. So I remember when I got done praying, the Lord asked me, what would I like? And I said, I want to build my own computer. That's what I said to him. And he said, no, so be it. So when I woke up the next day, something felt different. Something just didn't, it felt different. Like I knew things. And when I picked up that Tiger Direct catalog, boom! Information just flew right through my head. And it kept going, it kept going, it kept going. It got to the point where I was writing composition books on how to build computers. I knew exactly the parts, how to put them together, and the programming came easy, extremely easy. So I was basically blessed with the knowledge to learn this because I asked the Lord for it. Now I didn't have a computer yet. I was just writing composition books. Until one day I was sitting outside and my neighbor threw out old Pentium 2 computer, and I asked, are you fixing or trashing? He said, I'm trashing it. So I asked, could I have it? And they said, yes. And I was able to rebuild that machine. That's why I ran about the ATT motherboards and great big huge giant motherboards you snap together and IDE cables and all that stuff. Yeah, I rebuilt that machine. I got a chance to see the knowledge that God gave me, and all those compositions will come to life. I rebuilt that machine, made my own computer. One time I got myself an operating system and reprogrammed it. Windows XP. And then from there, I got a Pentium 4 Hyperthread and redesigned that. And it got to a point where now I was building machines where it got to a point where I was tired of the cases. So I started stripping them out of the cases and designing my own cases out of Tupperware and dropping them in fish tanks and designing my own form of artwork to bring them to life. Like, my own form of props, adding a kind of a personality to my machines. And then one day somebody saw me out there working on a computer and they said, hey, you work on computers? And I was like, yeah. And I started getting paid for it. The people in the neighborhood, I was the PC guy. And they were coming up and they were bringing up the laptops and computers and all this stuff to me. And I was making $180 an hour. Not more than an hour. Like about an hour, I might make about $300-400. Yep. Because people, when it came to computers, they didn't want to go inside. I would try to show them how to fix the machines and make it easier for them to pay that much money back to me, but they didn't want to do it. They didn't want to open up the box. They didn't want to tell you they're afraid they're going to damage the system, so they would just give it to me. So next thing you know, I just set my room up to work on computers. I was buying parts, and I learned how to get my business tax ID license so I could buy my parts wholesale and everything cheaper, and I started a little business. God gave me that. My liquid cooling machines are one of a kind. Even the steam pump, the vegetable oil, the big boy I had. That was another one. I saw somebody with a steam pump piece, I was like, oh, that thing is gorgeous. I fell in love with it. I was like, I want one. I want one. And yep, I designed one. I even dropped an Xbox 360 in vegetable oil. Guess what? It ran perfectly too. Yep, I had no problems. Wow. Same pen purchase. On there. I'm going to have to go to my channel and pick up my baby. I'm not going to find it. There's a lot of these in here. This one killed me right here. This one, they watched them out. You got to put fans on it. And you don't have to take apart the power supply. Don't do that. And here, I hate to call them noobs. You took apart the power supply for what? Why would you take to move the fan? Doesn't make a difference. Fan's going to slow down anyway. It's going to stop eventually. That's what happens. They get coagulated oil and they slow down. How long does the system last? For a long time. You can have one for 4 years, 4 or 5 years. And guess what? The Celsius can drop to around 17% or 17 Celsius. Very, very low. Built a couple of these veggie oil PCs. Now, one thing about the veggie oil PCs, once you do build one, you better make sure you max it out because you really don't be sticking your hands in that thing at the end of the day. You really don't. It gets messy. It does. It's pretty to watch, but it can be messy. It can be messy, but pretty to watch. It's just showing people how to build props. You know what that's made out of? Those containers that you use for basically at the restaurant for your ketchup and mustard, that's what that's made out of. I used to make my own props. So when God blesses you with the knowledge to be able to design things, it doesn't stop there. It just keeps advancing and keeps advancing and keep advancing. And to the point where I was actually learning how to rust PCs to make them look old, like they've been around through a nuclear war or something. All that stuff. How to take those toilet paper plastic pipes, that you meant for pipes, or the toilet paper you put the rolls on, how to turn those into copper by paint. Give it a rust job. That's what I did with the PC. Not the PC, the projector. I actually converted into this kind of bionuclear design and basically did a screen to match with it. So all this is basically the same kind of dispenser that you get for your ketchup and mustard over when you go to a restaurant. Got a nice screw system, a nice rust system with it. I was doing it for Bioshock, and I put in a strobe system through it to give it a nice kind of an eerie effect. Very easy to put together. And we put a fan system at the bottom to look like a reactor. And there you go. See the paint job's got that kind of mossy, kind of Bioshock corrosion look to it. Yeah, I make my own props. Instead of, I couldn't figure out where am I going to buy this, and no one's doesn't have it, so you have to make it. Xbox 360 under vegetable oil, running perfectly fine. Wish I'd have known that before I bought all the Xbox 360s that burnt out on me. I'd have been checked to pay all that money at the end of the day. Right there, this is my one I built out of a Tupperware case. So I wanted a torture rack. I didn't want to sit there and spend all this money for one. They wanted $200-300 for them, so I made one out of Tupperware. And it's also a Tupperware case made out of Tupperware. And does it run? Yeah, it runs perfectly fine. That's one of the screen paints we're working on that can absorb light. Yeah. That little tiny room. Did a lot of stuff in that tiny room. That little tiny room right there. That's the Terminator PC I was building for a friend. So I built the bunker. It's covered in skulls. It was a PC. Yeah. And that's the prop that I designed to go into the PC. I built my own props for my own system setup. Yep, never went to school for any of it. None of it. None of it at all, period. You know, you guys are sitting back on your Xbox 360. This was my Xbox 360. In a UFO case. Completely modded out. That system right there was a very interesting build. So it was not your everyday normal Xbox 360, as you can see. These are the UFO cases. I wish I would have kept mine. All custom paint job. Even got my props in there to make. I got a nuclear reactor running through there. All that ran. Everything was operational. Bio tanks and containers. They're made out of paint containers. So I had a special JTAG in my system. That allowed me not only, now I don't do it anymore now because it's really wrong now, but at that particular time I did. So I had, oh yeah, the kill switches. I actually had kill switch. I had to wire the kill switches for the 360 so I can basically have that detonator like they do for the nukes. You hit the switch and you hit the switch, it pops up. Yeah, I had to basically rewire that sucker for that. Yeah, that's why it's good to come from the era of soldering. Never had to solder. Look at that. The wire job in there was insane. So why would a 360 require that many wires in it? Yeah, it had some special features attached to it. So there's another motherboard in there. I integrated it with another motherboard. Once I figured out how you do a torture rack, means you don't have to have your parts basically technically strapped to a board. You can actually design your own form of stilt system. There are 2 motherboards running there. And the reason why there's another motherboard in there because that motherboard is integrated into the Xbox 360 for a particular reason. So Microsoft kept banning my account over and over again, but you can't ban an account you can't find. Well, like I said, we don't do that activity anymore. This is when I was in this era. You know, the reason why the 360, I used the term for it, got so many times. Because you know why? People were tired of the red ring. You buy about 8 or 9 of these things, and they keep burning out on you. And I burned them because I had an amazing Xbox family that I played all the time with. You know, and, you know, you can't play with them anymore if your system's sitting there red ringing on you. I take it back. It give me the coughing. It burned out on me. I take it back. It burned out on me again. I buy another one, it burns out. I buy another one, it burns out. And it got to a point where people just got tired of it and they started opening up the systems to see if they could fix it. And they found out that guess what these things are? They're nothing more but old IBM motherboards. And they're easy to manipulate. So, there you go. That's the PC, the one I showed you, the one that the one made out of Tupperware. Yeah, that's it right there. Me putting it together. So I had to put all the switches, wire all my switches and everything. Here's my plate in the front. I had to redo all my switches. Because I wanted the switches to go on and off. The up and down switches. I don't want any buttons you press on and off. So I had to rewire all the switches. So all these had to be resoldered so they can fit into the motherboard. But he does nothing but screen paint. Yep, sure. Got a lot of skills that something else best to have. Oh, here's my little setup right here. My customized server, and that's the steam pump. You know how long it took me to put that thing together? 6 months. That thing is all custom painted. It's fun though. Now, curiosity, how do you get static electricity to run on your PC without shorting out the parts in your PC? You figured that one out. Dual fan controllers. We have a lot of fans running through this baby. So these are all dual touchscreen fan controllers. Fan controllers through here, and on the liquid cooling system, all the copper piping is actually real 100% copper. I actually redesigned the liquid cooling system so it would look more of a steam pump kind of a look to it. Pressure gauges. That's the server boy. Most of my games. Same thing, I like the whole touchscreen controllers for my fans. So yeah, when I get somebody who sends me a message and talking about your PS5 system at the end of the day, I'm just trying to be nice about it. Well, good for you. I build it. And I don't build just normal PCs, I build monsters, I build elite systems. That's what I like to build. My systems are all maxed out. It costs me a little bit of money, but one thing I hate about when I'm building a computer is I can't stand to go back in. So I max them out. Don't get me wrong, I love consoles. I really do. These are all the games I get on my Steam account. I like consoles, I do. But if you're going to basically brag to me because you got a PS5 and I build PCs, no, don't do that. Keep it humble. You know? Keep it humble. I don't do that whole, well, yeah, when I first started off with the whole thing with the PC, I think I got kind of arrogant with it. You know, I really did. But I don't do that now because I do both. I do PC and console. As a matter of fact, my PS5 system, when I get done, it's going to be a fully coolie theme. That's what I want to do. I'm going to actually install in there, I'm going to put a RetroPie in there. So, because the case I want to put my PS5 in is clear, it's glass. So I'm going to coat that with AdTech. So I can basically play my retro games on the side of the glass. I'm actually installing the projector and all that stuff in there. Projector has to come apart. I have to take it apart because it won't fit. So I need a little mini small one. So I need to connect the projector into the RetroPie and have it set up in there so I can switch off and put that on, and I can actually play my game system right off the glass inside of a system that has a PS5 attached into it. Told you guys, do stuff that's different. Can't do normal stuff. It doesn't work for me that way. So this right here is the assembly of the machine you just saw. This thing was something else to put together. Usually when I'm putting together something, the more complicated it is, the funner it is. If it's too easy, I'm not doing it. This is the whole thing I had to put together. This is just for fun. This is just for fun. So laugh a lot, just joking. Time to get real. Tell you how much work it goes into putting these things together. PS5 should be easy, my job, but I do want to make it a little complicated. So we start off with a UFO case. Check the work. Hand painted. All that had to be hand painted. They aged it. They made it look old. So I had to run EL wires through. Everything had to light up. All that had to be done by hand. You gotta build that stuff. Final shot artwork on the side. And the clock had to be taken apart, piece by piece. So it looks like when it's done. Inside work. Got all my wires sitting behind here. Nice little shelf. I had to make everything like it's made out of wood. Oh, yes. And always make sure my motherboard and graphic cards marry. Because you don't want basic driver conflictions. i7s when they first came out. I had to run LED lights through there. So I can get all the light up. So I had to run all my EL wires through to get the pops of light. Supply. And I gotta work on the door. That was fun. I had to go in and I had to get a wall outlet and I had to wire that in to this system over here to get that to run because I want the lights to go off with an old-fashioned kind of wall switch to it. And that all had to be hand painted by hand, which means all the silver design here was all done by hand. See all this copper piping? Yeah, this thing actually had copper piping running through it. It was liquid cooling running through all of this. And we had to do tests because some of that stuff would leak. There's the dual fan controllers, LCD reader run across. Well, actually said the word steampunk across it. And then I had to figure out how to install this in. without basically shorting out the board and everything else inside of it. Because that thing draws static like you wouldn't believe. And there's the system powering up. I'm testing all the lights. There it is done. Never went to school for it. All it was given to me by God. Yep. Let me have this here. What's this here for? Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of the consoles at the time. Really wasn't a big fan of the console systems. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, bottom line is, yep, never went to school for any of that. Period. Started off with just me just working on machines, and I got to the point where it just evolved into me just designing stuff, crazy stuff. At the end of the day, so when I tell you that I can make a PC that looks like Fallout and I can stick it inside of an end table, I'm not joking with that one. That's kind of what I can't wait to do when I get all this done. But anyway, I got to get out of here, people. I got some things got to take care of, and I got to do more advertising for the big outs. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you for your time. Be safe out there, and God bless.